Freedom Publishing House, the leading publisher in academic materials across the globe.
IELTS Target 9. Published by Freedom Publishing House and Freedom Academy Press, 2026. This recording is a copyright. Test 9. This is the IELTS listening test by Target 9. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings would be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to part 1. You will hear a recording about a man calling at a shop to lodge a complaint of a product he purchased recently. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
Hello. Is it Lloyd Digital?
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Actually, I want to complain about a product that I bought from your store.
Don't worry, sir. We will help you out. I am Mary from Lloyd Digital. May I know what sort of issue you are facing?
Well, I bought a washing machine from your store recently and I am facing an issue regarding that. There could be a problem with the machine installation, but I believe that the machine has a manufacturing defect. Initially, I thought I will request for a repair of the machine, but I want a replacement, as the product is absolutely brand new. So, I want to know the procedure for replacement, and want you to solve my issue as quickly as possible.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that. I apologize for any inconvenience caused to you. May I know from which store location did you buy the machine?
I bought it from the store located in the Rose Town, the factory outlet store.
May I know the model number of the machine and the day of purchase?
Is it written on the bill?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me check. Please note down the model number. It is L66834.
And what was the date of purchase?
I bought the machine last week, on the 6th of June.
May I know the problem that you are facing? And if you could just tell me some details about it.
Yes. I bought the machine on the 6th of June, and it was installed the next day. I hadn't operated the machine since the installation. I used it today morning and suddenly the machine made a loud sound when the machine was operating on the rinse mode. After that there was constant noise from the machine. So, I turned off the machine immediately and called you.
It seems a manufacturing defect to me, or it could also be mishandling on your side. But we cannot comment on anything until the survey is done.
No. This seems a manufacturing defect, as I used the machine for the first time. It cannot break down in the first use. So, I need a full replacement of the washing machine. I do not want the repairs to be done. I need a full replacement.
Okay, sir. I can understand your frustration. Initially, I'm going to send a technician by today evening. The technician will inspect the machine and will inform you about the damage accordingly. If there is a minor problem, then your machine will be repaired on site and we will bear all the expenses. But, if there is a manufacturing defect, then you are surely entitled for a refund or replacement. We care for our customers, and we will do whatever it takes to keep you happy, sir.
Okay. This seems a good idea. But I won't be available in the evening today as I have to go out for an urgent piece of work. Can you send your technician tomorrow morning before 11 or 12? Or maybe even earlier in the morning if possible.
Let me check. I have empty slots in the evening, and one in the morning as well, at 11 a.m. So, I will book the morning slot. Is it fine with you?
That's great. I will be available at that time. Do I need to pay anything to the technician?
No. You don't need to pay anything, but you must present the original bill of the machine to the technician when he comes there to check the machine.
Okay. Thank you for your help.
I hope you were satisfied with the assistance. Have a nice day.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 1. Part 2. You will hear a coordinator talking about the Space Museum. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Hello, and thank you for asking me to your teachers' meeting to talk about the Space Museum and to tell you a bit about what you can do with your students there. Well, let me give you some of the basic information first. In regard to opening hours, we're open every day of the week from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. except on Sundays when we close at 12:30 p.m. And, in fact, the only day in the year when we're closed is on the 31st of December. You can book a guided tour for your school group any time that we're open. If you bring a school group to the museum, when you arrive, we ask you to remain with your group in the main hall. One or more of the tour guides will welcome you there and brief you about what the tour will be about. As far as the amount of time you'll need goes, if you bring a school group, you should plan on allowing a minimum of 2 hours for the visit. This allows 20 minutes to get on and off the coach, 60 minutes for the guided tour, and 40 minutes for after-tour activities. If you're going to have refreshments at the museum, you will, of course, have to allow more time. There are 2 cafes in the museum, with seating for 120 people. If you want to eat there, you'll need to reserve some seating, as they can get quite crowded at lunchtime. Then outside the museum at the back, there are benches, and students can bring their own lunch and eat it there in the open air.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 16 to 20.
When the students come into the museum lobby, we ask them to check in their backpacks with their books, lunchboxes, etc., at the cloakroom before they enter the museum proper. I'm afraid in the past we have had a few things gone missing after school visits, so this is a strict rule. Also, some of the exhibits are fragile and we don't want them to be accidentally knocked. But we do provide school students with handouts with questions and quizzes on them. There's so much that students can learn in the museum, and it's fun for them to have something to do. Of course, they'll need to bring something to write with for these. We do allow students to take photographs. For students who are doing projects, it's useful to make some kind of visual record of what they see that they can add to their reports. And finally, they should not bring anything to eat into the museum, or drinks of any kind. There are also a few things the students can do after the tour. In the theatrette on the ground floor, there are continuous screenings of short films about the vastness of space and how humans have always longed to search more and more of it, which they can see at any time. We used to have an activity room with more interactive things like making models of planets and galaxies and painting pictures, even exploring our space and galaxy in a simulator. But unfortunately, the room was damaged in a bad storm recently when water came in the roof, so that's closed at the moment. But we do have an IT center where students have access to CD-ROMs with a range of space games. These games are a lot of fun, but they also teach the students about the miracles and mystery of space, how it was formed, how it is expanding, and how it will be in the future. And I think that's all I have to tell you. Please feel free to ask any questions if you would like to know anything else.
That is the end of part 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 2. Part 3. You will hear a conversation between Anita and George, discussing their presentation. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 30.
Hey George, can you spare some time and listen to my presentation, so I can get some idea on making some changes to it?
Absolutely. I will be delighted to hear what you have prepared.
Okay. Thank you so much. In this presentation, I'll be sharing an overview of our current understanding of the planet Mars, based on recent findings and exploration efforts.
Oh, that's interesting.
Of course. So, now I'm going to start with it. In English, Mars carries the name of the Roman god of war and is often referred to as the Red Planet. Also because of the way it appears in the sky. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in the solar system, being only larger than Mercury. The name Red Planet refers to the effect of the iron oxide prevalent on Mars' surface, which gives it a reddish appearance distinctive among the astronomical bodies visible to the naked eye. Mars is a terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere, with surface features reminiscent of the impact craters of the Moon and the valleys, deserts, and polar ice caps of Earth. Mars is very unlike planets such as Mercury, Venus, or even Jupiter.
That's fascinating.
Yes, this is quite interesting. Anyways, I will continue. Mars' atmospheric pressure is much lower than Earth's, and its polar ice caps play a significant role in driving seasonal changes by expanding and shrinking with temperature fluctuations. But the days and seasons are comparable to those of Earth, because the rotational period, as well as the tilt of the rotational axis, relative to the ecliptic plane are similar. Mars is the site of Olympus Mons, the largest volcano and highest known mountain on any planet in the solar system, and of Valles Marineris, one of the largest canyons in the solar system. The smooth Borealis Basin in the northern hemisphere covers 40% of the planet and may be a giant impact feature. Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are small and irregularly shaped. These may actually be captured asteroids.
Wow. Good to know. I have heard that many man-made spacecrafts have gone to Mars. Were they sent to take pictures there?
You've heard it right. Now, Mars has been explored by several unmanned spacecraft from agencies, even like Indian Space Research Organisation, sending a satellite and deploying in the Mars environment in the first attempt. But Mariner 4, launched by NASA on November 28, 1964, was the first spacecraft to visit Mars, making its closest approach to the planet on July 15, 1965. Mariner 4 detected the weak Martian radiation belt, measured at about 0.1% that of Earth, and captured the first images of another planet from deep space. On July 20, 1976, Viking 1 performed the first successful landing on the Martian surface. The Soviet Mars 3 spacecraft achieved a soft landing in December 1971, but contact was lost with its lander seconds after touchdown. On July 4, 1997, the Mars Pathfinder spacecraft landed on Mars and on July 5 released its rover, Sojourner, the first robotic rover to operate on Mars. Pathfinder was followed by the Mars exploration rovers, Spirit and Opportunity, which landed on Mars in January 2004 and operated until March 22, 2010 and June 10, 2018, respectively. The Mars Express orbiter, the first European Space Agency spacecraft to visit Mars, arrived in orbit on December 25, 2003. On September 24, 2014, the Indian Space Research Organisation became the fourth space agency to visit Mars, when its maiden interplanetary mission, the Mars Orbiter Mission spacecraft, arrived in orbit.
Wow! That's quite some research you've done here.
Thank you, George, for your compliment. But I still have to present the last part of the presentation.
Sure. Go ahead.
There are ongoing investigations assessing the past habitability of Mars, as well as the possibility of extant life. Astrobiology missions are planned, including the Perseverance and Rosalind Franklin rovers. Liquid water cannot exist on the surface of Mars due to low atmospheric pressure, which is less than 1% of the atmospheric pressure on Earth, except at the lowest elevations for short periods. The two polar ice caps appear to be made largely of water. The volume of water ice in the South Polar ice cap, if melted, would be sufficient to cover the planetary surface to a depth of 11 meters. In November 2016, NASA reported finding a large amount of underground ice in the Utopia Planitia region. The volume of water detected has been estimated to be equivalent to the volume of water in Lake Superior. In addition to these exciting discoveries, we're also observing seasonal methane emissions and recurring slope lineae that suggest the possibility of briny liquid flows. All of this continues to fuel speculation about the red planet's potential to support microbial life, either in the past or perhaps even now, in protected underground reservoirs. The next decade of Mars exploration will be crucial in addressing these profound questions.
It looks like you've worked quite hard on your presentation. I wish you the very best for it.
That is the end of part 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 3. Part 4. You will hear an expert explaining about the light-emitting diodes. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm excited to talk about light-emitting diodes, or LEDs, and how they've not only changed the way we light our homes but also played a crucial role in advancing technology across various fields. We'll discuss the science behind LEDs, their applications, and why they are considered a game-changer in the world of electronics. LEDs are semiconductor light source that emits light when an electric current flows through it. This process involves electrons in the semiconductor recombining with electron holes, and in doing so, they release energy in the form of photons. The color of the emitted light, linked to the energy of these photons, is determined by the energy needed for electrons to cross the band gap of the semiconductor material. To generate white light, manufacturers either combine multiple semiconductors emitting different colors or use a layer of light-emitting phosphor on the semiconductor itself. LEDs first appeared as practical electronic components in 1962. Initially, they emitted only low-intensity infrared light and were commonly used in remote control systems for consumer electronics. The first visible light LEDs were similarly low in intensity and mostly red in color. However, significant advancements have led to the development of LEDs that span across the visible, ultraviolet, and infrared wavelengths, now offering much higher light output. Early on, LEDs primarily functioned as indicator lamps, taking place of small incandescent bulbs. They were also used in 7-segment displays, commonly seen in digital clocks and calculators. Over time, new developments have resulted in high-output white LEDs that are now suitable for indoor and outdoor lighting applications. Today, LEDs are found in advanced display systems and sensor technologies, and because of their high switching speeds, they play a crucial role in modern communication technologies. LEDs offer many benefits over traditional incandescent light sources. These include significantly lower energy consumption, a longer lifespan, enhanced physical durability, smaller size, and much faster switching capabilities. Due to these advantages, LEDs are now used in a wide variety of applications, ranging from aviation lighting and automotive headlamps to advertising displays, general room lighting, traffic signals, camera flashes, and even medical devices. Unlike lasers, the light from LEDs is neither spectrally coherent nor highly monochromatic. However, its spectrum is narrow enough that it appears to the human eye as a pure color. Also, unlike lasers, LED's light is not spatially coherent, so it cannot achieve the extremely high brightness levels typical of laser beams. There are two primary methods for producing white light using LEDs. One method involves combining individual LEDs that emit the three primary colors, red, green, and blue, and then blending them to create white light. The second method uses phosphor materials to convert monochromatic blue or ultraviolet light into broad-spectrum white light, much like how fluorescent lamps work. A common phosphor used in this process is cerium-doped YAG crystals, which are either suspended inside the LED's package or coated onto the LED's surface. These crystals typically give white LEDs a yellow appearance when turned off. The gaps between the crystals allow some blue light to pass through, which helps balance the color. Alternatively, other engineered phosphors such as magnesium-doped potassium fluorosilicate, or PFS, are used to improve red light generation. In such configurations, the CE-YAG phosphor converts blue light into green and red, while PFS further enhances red light output. By adjusting the type and concentration of phosphor, manufacturers can fine-tune the color temperature of the LEDs, making it warmer or cooler depending on the desired application. So, as you can see, LEDs are far more complex than they might appear at first glance, and their development represents a major step forward in lighting and electronics technology.
That is the end of part 4 and the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.